Ian, thank you for joining us. 3 days ago, the bid backed by the Foundation of Hearts was named as the preferred bidder for the club, and I understand you're now in a position to explain in a bit more detail about how this bid will work.
Yes, absolutely. We were obviously delighted on Friday when the bid, as you said, backed by the Foundation of Hearts, has been given preferred bidder status, because it now allows us to move forward as the sole bidder for Heart of Midlothian Football Club. And the way that will work is there will be two special purpose vehicles set up. There will be Bidco, which is the purchasing vehicle for buying the club, and there will be Fanco, which is essentially the Foundation of Hearts. These two organisations will be inextricably linked by contract that will allow the club to be purchased by Bidco, and then Fanco will purchase the club on a controlled basis over a period of time from Bidco, in order for fans to have full ownership of the football club. So it's a really strong way of buying the football club. It's a low cost way, it's a stable way, and it ultimately delivers fan ownership to this football club, which is what's desperately required.
I guess it's important to highlight how the Bidco group and the Fanco group will work in tandem to deliver the ultimate goal, which is a fan-owned football club.
Absolutely, and there's many different ways you can buy a football club. You can either have a white knight who comes in and just buys the football club. You can have someone, and it's been offered to us on several occasions, who would buy the stadium, and the foundation would have bought the club, and the stadium would have been rented back to the foundation. That's not really been a possibility, in the sense that the stadium rental would still have to be paid, and ultimately the fans wouldn't own the stadium or any of the assets, and that could get us into a position later on whereby the football club is not wholly owned by the fans and the supporters. So this is the best way of taking something forward. It means that the fans will ultimately own this football club over a short period of time, and it allows the football club to be purchased, allows it to be financially stable, and allows us to look at this new dawn that everyone's hopeful will come forward fairly shortly.
The people involved in Bidco have been described by yourselves as the Edinburgh business community. Can you at this point go into any more detail than that, Ian?
Well, they're all Hearts fans, they're all Edinburgh Hearts fans. They are doing this for absolutely no personal gain. And I think that's quite an important clarification to make. They are putting the money in to buy the football club, which is essentially to deliver the CVA, and they've put it together the structure that will mean that will be given back to the fans over a period of time, paid for by the pledges that come in. We were always requiring a capital sum, and this is the strongest way to do that, and it gives us the opportunity not just to purchase the club via the CVA route, but also to have the experience of some tremendously experienced business people from Edinburgh who are all Hearts fans, and I think that can give people comfort that the people who are behind this bid are very much one of them.
To your Hearts supporter in the street, they may be perhaps taken aback, but at first by explaining how this whole process works. How would you go about allaying fears to them, Ian?
Well, an administration process is incredibly complicated. It's an incredibly legalistic process. It's made even more complicated when the people you're buying the club from are based in a different jurisdiction. In this case, it's Lithuania, and it's the added complication, of course, is that one party who owns a significant shareholding in the football club is still in a little bit of limbo in terms of its own legal status, whether it's an administration or liquidation. Hopefully that will be resolved shortly. So it is a completely difficult situation in terms of the complexities of it, and all we would say to fans is that we're working as hard as we possibly can to get these resolved. We know that BDO are working as hard as they possibly can to get these issues resolved, and really we will need a little bit of patience here to work through all these issues, but the one aim is that we want to get Heart of Midlothian Football Club into the hands of the fans, and we also want it to be financially stable going forward, because we have a wonderful opportunity here to make sure that Hearts going forward have a bright future.
Supporters will now look to Bidco to make an offer that will secure the club, but what part can the fans play in helping them?
Well, the fans can continue to play the part that they've played for the last 18 months, and they've supported this club in phenomenal ways, whether it have been the share issue, buying season tickets, supporting BDO in their efforts to stabilise the finances while the sale is going through. We are well over now 6,700 pledges, and we've increased by 700 since we were main preferred bidder last week, and Gary Locke's email that was sent to all fans on the Hearts database put on another 500, so we're doing incredibly well. But all we would say to fans, and it's a fairly straightforward formula, the more money we have, the easier the process is, and the more money the football club has to be stable and has a bright future going forward. So continue to support us if you can afford to do so, and we'll do all we possibly can to make sure we can turn this football club back to where it should be in Scottish football.
I understand that you probably can't go into too much detail with this, Ian, but have BDO intimated to the foundation roughly a price that it might take to buy this club?
Well, that's a question for BDO. Really, we have a bid on the table, and we've said honestly and consistently right the way through this process that we will only bid A, what we can afford, B, what is realistic for buying this football club, and C, what makes sure that the future of this football club is secured. We can't do a penny more than that particular process, and we'll be having those discussions. That preferred bidder status allows us to have those discussions around the table, and BidCo will be taking those particular discussions forward in due course.
In terms of timelines, Ian, what can we expect to happen next?
Well, as I've said already, there is a few imponderables around ownership. We will be doing it as quickly as possible, having discussions with the administrators of the club and seeing where we can get to. But the message to the Hearts fans at the moment is you've been phenomenal in not just supporting the club and supporting the foundation, but please do keep signing up for those direct debits if you can afford to do so, because every single penny we have will either go towards purchasing this club or making this club stable again. We've seen just 3 games into this new season what the potential of this club can be. We can get out of this relegation problem. We can get Hearts on a stable financial footing, and the future could be very bright indeed. We thank everyone indeed for their phenomenal support, as I've said already, but what we do need now is just for any single Hearts fan out there who can still afford to sign up to a direct debit and own this football club to do so as quickly as they possibly can.
Ian, many thanks.
Thanks very much indeed.